Hey everybody, I hope you're having a great night. Okay, so I've got this question a lot, probably this last week, and the question is, I'm new to keto, please help me. Like, help. And so I thought we could cover just some basics, and I will tell you this, from when our family dove into eating this way, when I watched my husband almost 7 years ago, I feel like we've transitioned and switched a lot of kind of how we eat or how we thought this should be done, right? And so as we've learned the power of ketones, the more we're learning about just ketones and all of the benefits, but also how to eat, the power of fat, the power of too much fat. Like there's so much to it that, ooh, my nose tickled, sorry. I would love to share with you a little insight. It won't be long. I would love to know where you're tuning in from. How is your evening? Crazy thing. So I'm a mom. My name is Stephanie. We have 4 girls, and I've got a couple meetings, some team Zooms here in the next couple hours. My husband was taking our daughters to one of their friends' dance recitals, and I couldn't go, and I was like, I've got an hour and a half before I have to hop on, and I've got stuff to do tonight. So I was like, what am I supposed to do? I made myself a peaceful dinner, I cleaned up the kitchen, and now I'm gonna talk to you. So what did I have for dinner? The girls had something completely different. They had CrossFit tonight. So if anybody has athletes in their family, our girls are loving CrossFit. A benefit of ketones, just so you know, whether it's for you or your spouse or your friend or your kids, ketones preserve muscle, just so you know that. But also, what did the girls eat? For some reason I'm forgetting. But I had, can anybody guess what I had? If you've been here for a while, it's one of my most favorite things. I make it almost all the time in the air fryer. Salmon. I had salmon from Costco on some salad. So I had a Caesar salad with salmon on it. One of my favorite things. So let's dive into ketones and ketosis. So the first thing, if you're brand new to this conversation, what I want you to understand is this does not have to be complicated. And this is kind of how, well, what you will understand is keto is a buzzword, right? And so it's not that this is new to anybody anymore, and you will often actually hear it. You'll see it at restaurants, you'll see keto foods, you'll see it in magazines, you'll see it tons of recipe books. So I will tell you, there is a wide variety of how people think keto should be done. There is, people over here who believe that the only way to get your body into ketosis is a very, very extreme no dairy, no nuts, all veggies, count the broccoli or count your carbs in your veggies, absolutely no net carbs, everything is organic, everything is, like there is this type of keto. There's kind of the middle, or like, hey, let's do a lifestyle approach, let's try to do the best that we can. I believe you can drink ketones. There's like a, hey, let's do what works for you. I believe the lifestyle that will work for you is the one that you'll stick with long term. And then there is the type of person over here that would say lazy keto that lives off of like bacon and butter. I would say the two extremes are really extreme, and neither one of them seem like they're very lifestyle changing or long term, right? So most people come here and they go, I want some fat loss. Like I can do this. People are doing this. My girlfriend lost 20 pounds. My friend at the office lost 5 pounds in 1 week. Like, I've got this, right? I think that's awesome. I want you to understand something. This isn't a one size fits all. And if you do this, and if you do this to where it works for your body, if you are patient, if you take it slow and not dive into eating all of this crazy fat, you will find that this is super sustainable. You feel amazing. It helps with so much that you will be amazed. The fat loss is great, but the benefits far surpass that. So I wanted to give you just some basic tips. If you're just starting, or if you're trying to restart, or if you're trying to restart, man, I feel like I have a booger in my nose. Okay, if I have a booger in my nose, I'm sorry. If you're trying to restart, tag a friend, share the video below. There's a little share button because you're not the only one that's here that wants to learn this. So very, very basic. This is how I encourage people to start. I'm not a doctor, so if it doesn't work for you, I promise I'm not offended if you do not like my page, okay? I always say take off your black robe. What does that mean? that means that you take off your black robe when you're on this page. So this page, this KetoMOM page, was started to help encourage other families to eat better, to help their children choose better meals, to share recipes, to just encourage you on this walk of health. Like, that's what this is for. I am not here to judge you if you're not eating strict keto, if you're not doing exactly what I'm doing, or if you decided to go out and have a burger and you ate the bun and I didn't, or to say that my keto is better than your keto. Like, take off your black robe. This is a non-judgmental page. There have been people that have been ixnayed, and I promise you, it'll be fine, okay? So this is how I encourage people to start. If your goal is fat loss, which most people's goal is that, let's work on a couple things. Number one, water. Like, we're going to work on your water intake. I know that sounds silly. It is super, super important. So grab a water bottle, have it with you at all times, bring it with you to the store, bring it with you to the office. We've got water bottles all over our house. So like, we all drink out of each other's water bottles. I've got 4 girls. My husband comes in and out. We're just like, I just want water visible, so whoever needs water can grab water. If it's in your sight, you will drink it. Sometimes in the past, we've done fun things where like, we'll start with a water bottle. We'll fill it up with like 5 rubber bands, and every time we filled it up, we take it off, and our goal was to get all the rubber bands off. So that's super helpful if you need a visual. So number 1 is water. Number 2, I want you to work on getting the things out of your house. So like, I want you to write this phrase down. Take the buns off the burger, the croutons off the salad, and grab a lettuce wrap. Like, this isn't about going crazy, eating really, really high fat, low carb, all in 1 week, cleaning out our kitchen and diving into like shoving my face full of butter, avocados, oil, and bacon. What happens is this, and you don't have to be an expert in all things keto, but I want you to know this very, very basic rule, okay? When you eat carbs have a certain amount of calories, okay? When you eat fat has a certain amount of calories. I can't promise you this is it, but I think it's it. Let's say 1 gram of carb has let's say 1 gram of carb has 5 calories. Let's say 1 gram of carb has 5 calories, right? Let's say 1 gram of fat has 9, right? So some people go, do I have to count calories? Do I count my macros? What do I do? What is this protein? What are these carbs and fats? So very, very quick, I should have covered this. If your goal is ketosis, if your goal is to have your body create ketones, the ketogenic diet, first of all, started for medical reasons. I'm very well aware of that. And first of all, most people are not in ketosis long-term unless they are in it for medical reasons, or they're legitimately like, remember that person way over here that counts every single carb in their broccoli? I don't think I've ever met one of those people. Maybe like I've seen them online, 2 of those people in my life. So there's medical reasons why people are in ketosis, and then there's reasons just to feel better, right? So if your goal is ketosis, you would eat approximately 80% fat, 15% protein, 5% carbs. Hopefully, not everybody's does, but hopefully your body will start making ketones. It's where you start using fat for fuel. And then when your body switches over to be a fat burner, what that means is your body's using ketones as a fuel source. You're not running off of all these stored carbs. You're not running off of this stored sugar. So it takes a little while. There's a transition. It's not overnight. It could be 3 to 5 days. It took my husband a good couple weeks to really get his food under control when he dove into this 7 years ago, okay? So remember that. It all has to do with all of your portions of fat, proteins, and carbs. So approximately under 20 carbs a day. You can do it that way, right? So you can, that's kind of ketosis. Your body's making ketones. Ketones are a fuel source. Your brain takes them up. Your muscles use the ketones. They help with your appetite and your mood and sleep, all of these benefits. The likelihood of you staying that way, I tell people, is most people I know are doing low carb or keto on and off. Most people are drinking ketones, not most, that's how I started. So my husband did the diet for 2 years. I helped him fail miserably. I started with this. So what I tell people is this: if you just want to start and have an understanding of where your food is, go to something like MyFitnessPal, go to Carb Manager, just Google food tracker. MyFitnessPal is probably one of the most widely used. And just for your first couple days, okay? If you're just starting, or if you want to relaunch, or if you want to restart, if you just want to visually know where you're at, go track all of your food for the day. Enter in all your information. It'll give you an approximation of calories. And then what I want you to do is just add in all of your food that you think is good, right? Like I had eggs this morning. I had my coffee. I had my ketones. I had, what did I have for lunch? A lettuce wrap. And then for dinner, I had salmon. Just mentally go, this is a good choice. Oh, I'm going to grab a cheese stick. Enter my handful of nuts. Do that for a couple days. And then you will get a little chart that says you ate 30% fat, 40% protein, and the rest were carbs. Like it will show you. So that way you can go, yeah, got this, I'm doing great. Or you can look at it and go, whoa, like I need to do some work if your goal is to manage it and do high fat, low carb. So I tell people, let's focus on water. Let's just figure out what you're eating, right? Calories do play a part in it. There's two types of people. You want to know what I learned the other day? There's certain people that have something called, everybody has leptin. Leptin, I'm not a doctor, I just learned this from my Ketogenic Bible. The Ketogenic Bible is a great resource if you need a book to read by Dr. Jacob Wilson and Dr. Ryan Lowry. Hey, puppies. They're fighting over something. So they talked about how some people overeat because they don't have enough leptin, I believe. Somebody's at my door. Hold on a second. Who's here? Oh, the girls aren't here. Bye, girls. Oh, don't worry. It's just kids coming to play. The dogs weren't going to leave us alone. So what you need to understand is this. Some people overeat. I just found this out because their body doesn't make enough leptin, I believe is what it's called, which suppresses your appetite and tells you when you're full. And so I'm not sure where I was going with that, but what I want you to understand is this. If your goal is fat loss, that means you have to eat less calories. So in the very beginning when we started this, before I really educated myself or before I learned a lot, I was like, nah, calories don't matter. Like it doesn't matter. Like you eat when you're hungry, you add some good fats in, you throw a little bit of butter on it, add a little bit of avocado, you stop eating when you're full, don't eat a lot of snacks and drink water. Easier said than done. Like, I will tell you this, you tell me that and I'm fine with that. Like I've never been a big overeater. You tell my husband that and he would very nicely tell you, what if I don't ever feel full? Like, how do I manage my cravings? Like, I can't help it. I just eat because the food is in front of me. So like, I can't really tell people that anymore because most people, their portions are oversized. There's food in front of them all the time. They're eating out of habit, right? They're overeating calories in, calories out. There are good calories to eat. There is better food choices to choose. But if you want fat loss, you've got to get a somewhat of a visual of how much you're eating, and you've got to eat less, right? So it's really good idea to track it for a little while. Get a great understanding of what your food looks like. I tell people, you don't have, hey, no. There's a good way and a really, like, you don't have to track your food forever. I don't track mine now, but it is good to have a good understanding and a good visual so that when you come to like maybe a month down the road, you're like, I know what to eat. I know how I feel. So anyways, drink water, track your food for a while, figure out kind of what your calorie intake is, right? You want to eat a little bit of less calories to lose fat. Now, this is where it gets tricky. I tell people, some people dive into eating all of the high fat. I think it's more important to lower your carbs first. So not even diving into all of the high fat because you might find yourself overeating. I have people that go, well, I got to the end of the night and I only ate 60% fat, so I was eating fat bombs. I ate a half an avocado. I'm not really hungry. I had a handful of nuts. I ate some nuts. What else can I eat to get my fats up? And I was like, are you hungry? Well, no, you're overeating. Like if you're not hungry, like fat keeps you full longer. Some people are scared of fat. Like you're not going to eat a stick of butter, I hope. But fat helps with your satiety. It helps with all of those things, but you're not gonna go and eat it if you're not hungry. So that's why I tell people little things like what we did is we started with one meal, breakfast. I'm gonna chuck a pen at my dog. I'm just kidding. Don't say anything, you dog lovers. Lulu, no. So what we did is I was overwhelmed. Went to the grocery store, started crying because my husband wanted me to eat this way, and I was overwhelmed. So everybody take a drink of your water. I said, I will start with one meal at a time. Breakfast, okay? This is how I started it. Actually, I got my water. I drank my ketones every day. This is another story, but like this is what I drink every day. It puts me in ketosis in under an hour. I'll share more about this at the end. If you want to know more about this, you can post a 5 or 10 below in the comments and I will get you some info. I'm in ketosis every day. Regardless if I'm eating really strict keto or not, I drink ketones. And yes, you can drink ketones. You can test it in your blood. They're fermented, completely natural. There's nothing out there like it. We'll have a conversation later. I was overwhelmed at first until I had this. So I said, okay. After I came home the first time I was at the grocery store and I was bawling my eyes out because I didn't know how to shop and eat out of not a box. Then I was like, I've got this. I drank my ketones. I went back to the grocery store the next day and I just made better choices. And I said, guess what? I'm going to start with breakfast. That's it. I'm not going to worry about everything else. I'm going to do the best that I can. But as soon as all the cereal was out of the house, as soon as we learned about fat coffee, I learned how to like make eggs and bacon. We found some really good food that we liked. Once I felt like that was under control, then I was like, yeah, awesome. We've got breakfast down. I've got my water down. I drink my ketones. I had my energy. I had my focus. I had all of the things that I need. I wasn't going through the keto flu because I didn't have to, okay? Then I said, okay, we can move on to lunch. What does that look like? Just stop buying the bread. I stopped buying the bread. That's it. I was like, we can have sandwiches on lettuce wraps. Instead of like leftovers from the other night before, we can have taco salad. We just ate better choices. My kids are not strict keto. They eat better. They still eat carrots and apples. A lot of people go, but those aren't keto. My kids aren't keto. They're lower carb, meaning they're not full of sugar and Debbie snacks and gummy snacks and juice. Like we just don't have those things. So once lunch was under control, we love our air fryer. If you don't have an air fryer and you're just starting this, like you get yourself an air fryer. Go to Amazon, doesn't matter what kind, go to Costco, grab an air fryer, like love, love, love it. Okay, after I had all of the meals under control, even dinner, I stopped cooking potatoes and pasta. And we just had different meats and vegetables and salads, like a real true keto, low carb, eating better lifestyle, whatever you want to call it, is incorporating some vegetables, some green things that I never ate before this. Avocados are great, organic butter, some solid good meat. Like I made hot dish yesterday, right? And so we used to live on shepherd's pie and lasagna. One night. That's what I made. Guess what? I can tweak every single meal I've ever made to make it better. I can use cauliflower instead of potatoes. I can use zucchini instead of noodles, or I just made a really good lasagna. If you've not been on this page, you should scroll through and look through it. It is good. So that's what we did. I wasn't crazy consumed with everything that needed to be perfect. I was drinking ketones, drinking my water, making the best decision and choices possible, right? And if I slipped up, I knew that the next day I would get up, drink my water, drink my ketones, and keep going. We've been doing that. It'll be 4 years next month. 4 years. That's crazy to me. So when somebody tells me how do I start, I say, let's work on one thing. What does your breakfast look like? Okay, let's tweak it a little bit. What does your lunch look like? Let's tweak it a little bit. What does your dinner look like? We will share recipes on here all the time. So maybe what we'll do after tonight for the next couple days, tomorrow I'll dive in and give you tons of breakfast recipes. The next day, let's do a ton of lunches. The next day, we'll do a ton of different dinner ideas so that you can have a variety of things to just help you on your journey, okay? So that's what the rest of this week will look like for sharing on this page. So what I want you to understand is do not get overwhelmed. Stop looking at your friend at the office. Stop looking at all these people on social media, because all you have to do is go onto Instagram, type in keto, and you can see these crazy transformations. But guess what? Like everybody's journey is different. Fat loss. And this is about fat loss. Oh my goodness, my dogs, there's nobody here to take care of them. Lulu, Lenny, Lulu. I'm gonna have to grab one of them. So the scale is not your friend. If you are going to do this, you get your scale out of your bathroom, put it in your trunk, give it to your neighbor, break it, slam it out. I don't even care what you need to do with it. Get it out. We're gonna focus on how you're feeling, Pay attention to how your clothes are fitting, inches lost, because fat loss is different than weight loss. Do you see my dogs fighting? They're not fighting, they're playing, but... Lulu! Lulu! Come here! Come here! So it's fat loss. So what? Come here! Come here! This is Lulu, and the other one is Lemmy. So what you need to understand is fat loss is about inches lost, how your clothes are fitting. People might go, man, your face is looking slimmer. Oh, thank you, right? But you might not see it on the scale. You're gonna see it way differently than you probably ever expected. So that's number one. Also, number two is this. I forgot. Okay, so that's how I would encourage somebody to start. Lastly, I would highly, highly recommend that you give yourself a goal, right? But I would say, think about it this way. Wherever you're at today, if it's fat loss again, right? You didn't get here in a week. So I would say if I were to tell you, hey, are you willing to give this a year? Would you stay here? Like, would you continually make better decisions? Sometimes people go, it's been 2 weeks and I haven't seen any fat loss. And I always say, okay, are you gonna give up? What are you gonna do next? Are you gonna go try something different, a different diet? Are you gonna go shove your face full of Debbie snacks? Like, if you're gonna give up, and if you're eating better, like vegetables and salads, taking the buns off, taking the bread off, taking the croutons off, if you're doing all of that, I need you to legitimately stop for a second and tell yourself, oh, I'm eating better food. Doesn't that make sense? Maybe I'm eating too much fat. That might be it, right? Maybe I'm not drinking enough water. Sometimes people don't factor in sleep and stress. Those things cause your body to hold on to some of that stuff. Look at, I'm making her sit with me. So there's lots of variables to this. This isn't an overnight success. So if I were to say, give this a year, I would say, give this a year. Like, give it 6 months even. Like, come back to me and let me know how you feel in a year, or come back next year and go, shoot, I should have started next year, right? I should have started last year. So lastly, I will tell you this. Please don't fight. Hey, want to say hi? This is Lulu, and her sister is Lemmy. We rescued them from the shelter. And we thought they were going to be big, but guess what? They're boxer beagles, but they're not. They're like a boxer, beagle, wiener dog, something else, something else, something else. And this is, I think, how big they're getting. The vet said they're not going to grow anymore. Look it. Say hi. Want to say hi? So anyways, isn't that fun? We went to the shelter one day to look at dogs. We came home with 2. So what I want you to tell you is this. You can do this. Plug into the community. We're here to help you. There's lots of things you can do to enhance what you're doing. There's a couple of things you should know, like when your body is in ketosis, when you're either making ketones or you're drinking them, your body is flushing out sodium, magnesium, potassium. So some people go, I need an electrolyte, right? Grab some Himalayan salt. I point over there because it's sitting right over there on my counter. Put some Himalayan salt on your food. Put some Himalayan salt in your water. I drink Mitoplex. It's our electrolyte. It's more than an electrolyte, but like you put this in, I don't put it in water because most electrolytes taste like salt. So I put it in, like I mix it in the morning with my ketones. But like you're gonna eventually, if you get cramps, if you get a slight headache, if you just kind of are feeling off, you probably need some electrolytes. Potassium, magnesium, sodium, and extra water. So when you're eating this way, you're gonna need extra water. So I drink this. If you need some electrolytes, these are phenomenal. You can go to KetoMOM.com, you can grab them. Also, okay, so that's how I wish I could scroll through. I wonder what time it is. I should probably look. I'm supposed to be on a Zoom in a little bit, huh? Sometimes I get chatting and then I chat too long. Okay, so lastly, oh, we're good. I know, right? Lastly, for those of you who have been reaching out, so I mail these out all the time. A lot of you are trying them. This is how I started. Drink them or don't drink them. It's completely up to you. Hey! Like it was supposed to be a peaceful night. My husband's like, you should just go relax. And I was like, relax? I've got lots of people to talk to and a lot of your questions to answer, so I will get to those when I'm done. But this is how I started my journey, although I only had an orange one. A lot of you are trying them. A lot of you I chat with all day long. It's a 5 or a 10-day experience. So it's ketones. Yes, you can drink them. Some people go, no, you can't. I 100% can prove it. Test it in your blood. I've got a video for it. And the reason you would drink ketones is for a couple reasons. You're in ketosis. Lulu, no. The reason you're in ketosis, Lulu, let me, no. The reason you'd want to drink ketones is it puts you in ketosis in under an hour versus getting your body to transition over to that some people don't make it past the first couple days because of the cravings and all of the stuff that you're going through. I don't do that, right? So it helps with your energy, your focus, your appetite, better mood, better sleep, skin, digestion, muscle preservation. Like, I've got research, I've got data. Message me and I will give you some phenomenal research videos about it. So maybe I'll just put something together for you. Would you want to see some research on it? If you want to see some research on this product or watch some really great little videos, post research below and I'll get it to you, okay? But other than that, if you want to try it, a lot of you are testing out the 5 or the 10 days, so post 5 or 10 in the comments. The reason you're going to do this is not about fat loss in 5 or 10 days, okay? This is about you messaging me. I'm going to give you food ideas. I'm going to help you tweak what you're eating. I'm going to help you, just give you an encouragement of like kind of what your goals are and what you need to do to get to where you want to go. And you're going to go, oh my goodness, Stephanie, I got it in the mail. I love the Maui Punch. I drank this today. I felt amazing energy, focus. My appetite was under control. Or maybe you're like, lime time was my jam. Like, I love lime time. If you already drink these, what's your favorite flavor? By far, I think this one's probably people's favorites. It's Heart Tart. Or maybe I love raspberry lemonade or Splash, like a grapefruit watermelon. So what you need to know is this: the point of the 5 or the 10 days for you to go, it's for you to pay attention to your energy, your focus, your appetite, your mood, sleep even. This is not about fat loss, and then we work on that. So a lot of you have been asking about that, and you've been asking about Mitoplex. So this is super great. It's like an amped up electrolyte. You can just grab this at KetoMOM.com, or if you're already a customer, go to your cloud office, just go grab it. This is powerful to stick in your water, but I stick it with the ketones, right? So it's super amazing. I think you all are amazing. I hope that's helpful. I'm gonna be I think I already said this, but I'll be sharing all the rest of this week different ideas of a whole list of meal plans for you, whether it's, my dogs are chewing, they're chewing on a bone. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And I think that's it. So I'm going to scroll through. Does anybody have any questions really quick? If you already asked a question, ask it one more time and I will answer it because I can see it right now so I don't have to scroll up. Otherwise, I can answer your questions later when I see them. Oh, good question. Hey, so in the very beginning of when the company's called Prove It, when I first started, the only flavor we had was an orange one. It had some dairy in it. It had some MCTs in it. Let me tell you, there was a lot of people in the bathroom. That was 4 years ago because people weren't using MCTs like coconut oil, right? There was 30 servings in a tub. That's how we got it. Then they created a dairy-free version called Chocolate Swirl, and that's all we had for a year and a half. Since then, they have amplified and made, these are fermented ketones. Like, they've made what's the word? How come they've like upgraded. So I said in the very beginning, we had like an iPhone 7. Like, the product is great. It worked. We loved it. Not everybody loved the flavor, but it was all that there was the only ketone on the market that you could drink, right? Then we upgraded to the iPhone 8. It was called Keto Max, right? So a little bit different salts, a little bit smoother formulation, no MCTs. I know this is a long version, but I'll let you know why. Then we upgraded to the Keto Nat. So if you were to grab a box, there's 20 in a box. There's a reason for that. It was to keep the price point the same. Most people have 2 boxes on their Smart Ship. This is later on after you try the 5 or 10 day, but you save 22%. All customers do when they have a Smart Ship. So they put 2 boxes on their Smart Ship. They've got 40 packets. They drink 1 a day for 30 days. And you've got a bonus 10 packets to drink on your really busy days. You can take 2 a day. So people go, Stephanie, do you drink 1 or 2? In the very beginning, the very first year that I did this, I remember I said I went to the grocery store. I was overwhelmed, in tears. And then I had ketones, right? So I would get up in the morning. I would eat eggs or sausage. I would drink my ketones. I would do the best I could all day long. I hated the gym. I hated to sweat. Didn't go to the gym for a year. And then I stopped taking naps as a mom. I had amazing energy. I had crazy clarity. Like the biggest thing for me as a mom, eating this way and drinking ketones, I haven't taken a nap in 4 years. Like the energy is crazy. Not a jitter energy, like a phenomenal long source energy all day long. So what you need to understand is this. A year later, I was like, I should join a gym. Like I think I could do a class or two, and I joined the gym. So I got up at 5:30 in the morning, drank one of these, did the best. I did great with my food all day long. At about 1 or 2 o'clock, I drank another one of these because I'm usually up late talking to most of you. And so you can drink 1 a day, you can drink 2 a day. It's completely up to you. I absolutely love it. No, I don't take naps. I haven't taken a nap in 4 years. I don't need a nap. I feel amazing. I know it sounds weird. People think that it's weird, but I absolutely love it. The flavors are, I'm scrolling through really quick to see if there's any other questions. So again, some people do 1 a day, some people do 2. If you want to just order, message me and I want to chat with you which flavor to grab it, you can go to KetoMOM.com or post a 10 in the comments and you can chat about trying all of these. Okay, so be watching the page this next week for the rest of the week for just different food ideas. We'll break it up into breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We'll give you all the options. We'll save all the recipes or give you a whole bunch of recipes. For some reason it's not coming through. Okay, so maybe there's no questions. If I missed your question, I'll come back to you in a little bit. Sometimes it takes a while to scroll through when I'm doing this. So I appreciate you all. Don't get overwhelmed. Stick with it. This is a long-term game. The lifestyle or the diet that's going to work for you is the one that you can actually stick with long-term, right? This isn't about, hey, I want to get skinny for June or July for my vacation and quit. This is like, I want to feel great so I can play with my kids and have a great life and a great marriage and feel great at the office and be a happy boss and be a happy wife, like all of those things for the rest of my life, right? So food is fuel. Like food affects the way you think. Food affects the way you feel. Food affects everything, whether you like it or not. And I know sugar is super addicting. It doesn't mean that you don't love it or crave it, but there's ways to combat that. There's ways, like simple things. Here's my one last tip. My one last tip for you for cravings, okay? You ready? Whatever is your biggest craving, whatever you draw, you gradually go and grab when you're sitting on the couch at night with your dogs fighting on you. Whatever you go to the cupboard to and you're gonna grab it to eat because it's a habit, you're bored, you're craving it, that is the thing that you get out of this house this week. Get it out. Like, I loved Oreos. No more. I don't think they've been in my house in 4 years. Doesn't mean I've never had an Oreo, but if I have them in my home, I'm easily gonna grab the entire pack, sit on the couch, and eat 12 of them. If I go to a birthday party, how embarrassing to grab 12 Oreos, I'm gonna grab 2, right? So think about this. The things that you crave the most, it doesn't mean like you can't ever have them, but you have them at a party or have them at somebody else's house, or maybe the only time you have dessert is at a restaurant because you don't eat the whole pan of brownies. You get one brownie that you all share together and that's it, right? So this isn't about never or I can never have that. This is about I'm gonna choose better. I get to eat more vegetables. I get to choose better foods. And parents, like that whole, like my kids need it in the house. They don't need it in the house. Your children do not need the Oreos. Like they get them at the birthday party again, just like you do. They get suckers at the grocery store and at the bank and everywhere we go. There's no shortage of sugar. Do not use it. Lulu. Do not use your kids as a scapegoat. Do you understand me? Okay, I appreciate you all. Have a great day. I will come back and answer all of your questions because I can't see the scrolling, and I'm gonna go take care of those dogs. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.